So Cliffy B's Lawbreakers.
Free this weekend, so we're just playing it on the Sunday. I've had a little bit of a go of it this morning, and I'll be honest, I wasn't really getting into it, but hopefully with someone else we might get somewhere.
I think it depends on the game type as well. So the first one I did was this battery one. You have to get the battery and store it till it's charged, which I didn't think very much of. But then I played the blitz ball, they call it. You have to grab the ball and score, which was better. But I mean, it's so fast in terms of looking around and seeing stuff, and times of kills quite low.
I'm trying to think what I did. What was it I was playing? It was I played an objective game as well, and it was it was something like capture the. I can't remember what it was. It was a capturing type game, but I found it very. There was a lot of things going on. It was quite messy and found
Yeah, there is loads of stuff really that happens. Oh wow, that started soon. Okay, so I've picked a Wraith as my character.
I've gone for Battle Medic, however, I'm going to go to Assassin because I found that was the only one I was getting on with earlier on. When I played it and I was on the enemy team, I was on like the baddie Assassins. We're on the good guys, I think, this time. We're on the law side.
Okay, law, not the Lawbreakers, the Law Enforcers.
Yeah. So what are we doing? We've got...
So there's a battery in the middle which we're going to try and capture. You can't capture it just yet. This is part of the challenge. Is it's like so fast with the anti-grav stuff. People flying all over the place.
You like that, dead
You really got to have your wits about you.
Yeah, that was one thing that threw me is you have the whole speed of it. You don't really have time to stop. It's like everything's all very detailed, but it feels like there's so much going on, and the environments are so kind of detailed here. I tend to get lost, and I don't really know where I'm going or what I'm doing. And we said before, it's been getting compared to games like Overwatch, and I think in terms of pick up and play it, Overwatch felt a bit more, I don't know if intuitive is the right word, but I know when I played the Overwatch beta before the game came out, it just felt like I could get stuck right into it. This one I just feel like I'm getting picked off. I don't understand the objectives.
Yeah, I think
that's all on me.
Well, it looks a lot like Overwatch, I think, as well. You've got different characters. They've each got different classes, different roles, different weapons, with different abilities. So straight away you go, okay, there's a similarity there. The anti-grav stuff is clearly a differentiator, and every map's got that. That's like the main combat area is all anti-grav.
Yeah, the anti-grav stuff, I'm not even sure. To be honest, I'm probably playing this completely wrong. I honestly don't know what I'm doing. So you've got these... I can do like a double jump there. Oh, this is what I did earlier actually. This is what I was doing before with the capture the battery, and I was not doing a great job of it.
Yeah, I think of the modes I've played, it's not my favourite.
It's not the best thing to be jumping into. There is a lot going on.
Well, I think it's as well that everybody's got a pretty decent way of killing everybody. There's no like real stinkers, I don't think, that jump out immediately. You die very quickly, so if you're not competitive, like when you're in the anti-grav bit, you just bait, you just fodder for everybody else.
I'm going to switch up. Let's try the Battle Medic. A change of pace.
I recommend Wraith. That's the one that I'm using the most. I'm having the most fun with. He's got a pretty decent gun. He's got a good melee attack. A triple jump, which is handy in the 0G sections.
That's it. It's always a case with these games of just finding the one that immediately clicks. I don't think I found a character that's clicked. Just yeah, I was close with the assassin, but then I realised I'm just
Your team scored.
like this one here. So I play the battle medic. I've got a bit more room. I can fly about a bit here. I've got like a. So it reminds me of the Farah character in Overwatch, essentially. I can just,
Oh
like,
yeah,
get
she's
rid of
got
time.
the rocket with the splash damage.
Ally acquired the battery.
So I think most of the characters are quite derivative of that, and by no means was Overwatch original with some of it's par the course for these kind of games. So I can see why it's drawing comparisons, but I haven't seen enough of this to be able to say whether or not it stands as its own, or if it's like, well, you know, let's just go back and play Overwatch.
I think it very much is a mouse and keyboard game though. Really.
Well,
when
I
you look at
kind of
how
agree.
quick it is.
Yeah, and that was my concern with it as well, as it felt it was too twitchy for me. I don't play. This is very. It's just that the pacing is very quickly. I'm finding like I'm not as good as aiming and getting my shots on target, and the people on the other end, my opponents, I seem to get hit and taken out in one shot. I'm just very. I don't know. I kind of run and gun, and I don't have any sense of coordination about my playstyle. Yeah, I don't know if it's. I don't even know what I just did there. That was some sort of a health shield. Oh, I see. I've got it.
It's a funny one, isn't it? It's you know, I mean, obviously we're playing the beta, so maybe the full game will be a bit easier to get into. But it just throws you straight in, and it's like instant, and it's a bit brash. I think Unreal Tournament's the closest actually in terms of the style of it. It's a shame you can't customise the characters a bit more. I know they've all got their own skins and stuff.
Look how just all the grey and it's just it doesn't have the personality of Overwatch. There's something just really bright and breezy about that, and
yeah, I mean they've tried though. I think there were the one-liners and all that sort of stuff that people throw in there. That's why the characters throw in there. They've tried to give it this personality, this sort of wittiness, which I don't think really comes through necessarily.
it's a bit more forced.
It feels like it is a little bit forced, yeah.
Yeah, it's unfair to kind of go on about it because I've barely been 10 minutes game time into it, so you should always give something a bit more room to breathe. But that's the thing with games like this, is that when you have so many, when this year's been so good for games and you have so many of these competitive games out there, you've got to make a quick impression. And if a game doesn't grab me within its first 30 minutes, then I pretty much know that's that. So far, there's just something about this I'm not quite feeling it. But again, that could just be because it's just throwing us right into the thick of it, and I don't feel like I've had room to fully get to grips with all the little nuances, if there are any.
It does. I think there is probably more to it than there seems initially. I didn't really like it at first, and I had a few more goes, and I actually started to quite enjoy it. And now going into it just from fresh off, not playing it for a while. Admittedly, I'm playing the same character, but I am enjoying it. Plus, it's a nice price point as well. I think it's like 25 quid.
I'm gonna go back to Assassin again, because I'm really trying to make up my mind on who I like. But does this actually? That's the point. I suppose the difference is this isn't like Overwatch, where you are encouraged to swap out your characters in order to. Although this does let you respawn a lot, so maybe it does.
Well, you can swap out at any point, so you can swap out mid-game if you want to. I haven't really played it enough to know if you need to, or how or when you need to. I suppose if you had a whole team of snipers, or sniper type characters, you might want to potentially change and try and counter that. So I suppose it keeps the match fluid in that respect, I think.
Yeah. So what are we doing now? This is a
Okay,
ball
so
game.
there's a ball on the map somewhere, which I think the enemy might have actually, and they need to run it, physically run it into
Oh,
our
so
goal.
it's so. I was actually thinking for a second if it was like capture the skull on the old Halo.
Think of it as one bomb. That's the biggest,
Okay.
the closest comparison. But it's interesting when it's dropped, you can't pick it up immediately. You have to wait for like the shield to go down before it can be collected. So it does sort of stagger the pace of the game a little bit. You know, it's not just drop, catch, move, drop, catch, move. You sort of somebody gets killed, it's dropped. You have to wait for there's a fight over it for when it comes available.
Yeah. I do think I'm enjoying the assassin because she has this like tether. She can. It's like a grapple, I suppose. And you can just get right in on the enemy, slice them up, as I'm doing a couple of times here, and it's quite satisfying. And she's got good movement speed.
I think you've got shotgun as your secondary weapon as well.
She does have a shotgun as well, yeah. But I tend to just find that I can. I think it's like a pulse. Yeah, it's like a sort of pulse thing going on there. I can try it out. I can see if I find anyone. See if I can grapple onto them.
I keep forgetting to use my ultimate as well. Unlocks. And again, another comparison to Overwatch. You know, you've got these ultimate abilities that are a bit more powerful and charge up.
Yeah, so I've actually got one here, and I don't actually know what it does. I won't waste it.
Ball in play.
There's an awful lot as well. Everything does something, and all of the buttons seem to have an action that takes some getting used to. So I've got like, for example, the assassin I can push left one gives me L1 gives me like a little boost. And then I can grapple, and then I think the right one is a grenade, possibly a pulse grenade. That looks at it.
So if you press up on the D-pad, again, a bit like Overwatch, it tells you what all of the bits do.
Yeah, just done that. That's probably a mistake.
Oh,
Get out of that.
I'm getting
I'm
destroyed here.
Oh, that was. Yep. Don't do that. I just ran right into 3 opponents there, and you know when you run in and for some reason you just think, yeah, I'm gonna try and take these guys on,
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
and it doesn't. And you should have known better. Yeah, it's a very, very quick paced. It's very easy to get disoriented, I find.
Plus, there's no radar as well, so you can't even see who's around you, floating around you, above you, anything like that.
But it's because of the floaty nature of
Your
it.
team scored.
When you're trying to take out enemies, and it's at least I'm finding it a little bit difficult to get my bearings when people are floating around.
Yeah, there definitely is a challenge in
It's not the most
getting to
immediate
grips with
accessible.
that. I think they do quite a good job with like a little bit of auto aim, but not too much auto aim as well. You know, it's you can manage to hit people, and it's certainly it looks where you want it to look very quickly. I think it's got a Call of Duty feel about it in that respect. Oh, come on!
I think someone there just withdrew off the map. I could be wrong. I was in the middle of some sort of encounter with him, and you can just stare off the edge of that map there, and it does look nice. Yeah, I think there's a bit more of a learning curve. I think perhaps my early reactions were unfair, but am I gonna kind of? This is the last day now, and it's unlikely I'm gonna pick it up. We'll just kind of see how the community gets on with it, and if it's supported for some time. To decide if I want
I think you're right. I think if loads of people get it for 25 quid, I'd give it a shot. Actually, I've enjoyed it enough. That's the problem with these open betas, though, as they call them, these live demos. You sort of, well, firstly, what are they beta testing? 'Cause it's out for 2 weeks, so if there's any major problems, it's a bit late. I suppose they would have picked that up in alpha. but also because it sort of throws you in, they don't give you the tutorial or like chance to properly learn it or a training mode. It's just play it. Testing, I guess, server load is probably the biggest thing they're testing. And yeah, it's hard because you sort of it can put people off, which is the opposite of what they want to be doing. They want to be giving people a chance to play it. But of course, I mean, obviously, we're not. I'm not doing this to try and help test the servers. That's just a consequence. I wanted to see if the game was any good and if I should spend 25 quid on it in a few weeks.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can just see from the footage, I'm not contributing so much as I am just getting destroyed at every turn, and I just think with games like this, there just should be like a tutorial or just a little thing where you can go around and run about by yourself, and because you're gonna have people who can instinctively pick these types of games up and just play them like it's no big deal, but it's different enough for me to. It feels much different than Overwatch, despite my comparisons.
Oh, it's
so
easy to think of it as the same as Overwatch. It definitely isn't, I would say. That ball's floating around up there. I can't grab it because there's a shield on it.
I'll admit, I'm not even going for this ball. I'm killing people because I'm just getting lost. I wonder if there is like a preference. I'm not. I wouldn't know if there's a particular character who's particularly strong or overpowered, or if how well balanced it is. I don't know who the main ones people choose are.
Well, I had most of my success with the Wraith, which is why I've stuck with that one really. I think, from what I've read, originally he was quite overpowered, but he's been nerfed a bit since. But I did try out all of the characters first, so I sort of did half of the game with each character, just to try and get used to them all and see what their abilities are. And they are quite varied, but there aren't any like let's say Mercy in Overwatch where you feel like your role is to support the team and avoid combat in all cases. They're all damage dealers to a degree. So you're never completely stuffed if you find yourself as one of the characters who isn't like a killing machine. You can still defend yourself.
I'm gonna have a little tinker with this gunslinger. So I get on there. Whoops. Got the wrong guy.
So yesterday, someone was saying that this has been compared to Drawn to Death, but I'm not sure I agree with that really. In that they're both shooters, but that's probably about as far as I'd go.
Yeah, I don't see it myself either. Drawn to Death was again, it was another one that I didn't particularly get into. But that just seemed far too. That was more. Wasn't that more designed to be multi-tiered kind of gameplay? I mean, it felt like you had to scale heights with that one, yeah, I don't see that myself.
Yeah, I played a bit of it. I thought it was not great. Oh.
But I suppose the question is this good enough to make me want to not go and play something else like Overwatch? Because how many of these games do you want to be swapping in and out all the time?
Well, that's the other thing, and I think you need to try and do something different with these as well. So I think the fact that this looks like Overwatch probably won't help it. The fact that it's quite different perhaps will. I mean, it's first-person shooter, but other than that, I'm not sure there's... Okay, you've got different classes, but you could argue that about Battlefield, couldn't you? I'm trying to think what sort of games this is really that similar to that's currently out there. In terms of the style of it, maybe Call of Duty. In terms of, like, the Infinite Warfares and things. Just okay, that's not quite a Twitch shooter, but it's not far off.
The thing, I suppose you have to just then look at it as the kind of people it's aimed toward. Because for me, I play like a lot of different games. So you might have someone like, I know people who only play games like Titanfall and Call of Duty and Battlefield, and so this might appeal to them. They might have a system where they play a different game every night, or people have their clans, and then this might appeal to them. But for me, when I play a lot of single player games and I enjoy co-op games, and with stuff like this, if I was to pick up a game like this, I tend to just stick with the one. So it's whichever one just appeals to me. So I don't play Call of Duty, and I don't play Battlefield, and I didn't play Star Wars, but I do play Overwatch because that's the one that just clicked with me. So this is the kind of game that if I already like that, this isn't necessarily going to draw me away from that when I decide I want to play like a multiplayer game wanting to. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't go between 4 or 5 of these things. I just couldn't do it. I'd get burned out on them. I just get fatigued by them. So there's certainly like really nothing that wrong with it. I just think I'm sorry, go on.
Oh, I was just thinking what it's going up against, though. I mean, obviously Overwatch is already out there. I don't know what the Call of Duty community is like. I assume it's still a pretty big one. Battlefield, I know, is doing quite well at the moment. But in terms of other new releases, you've got Destiny this year, and then you've got Star Wars and Call of Duty World War II at the sort of back end of the year. It might do all right in having the summer to itself, almost, in terms of a new first-person shooter. We're probably missing something, aren't we? But I'm not sure there is that much that's brand new in terms of the FPS sort of style.
I just think it's gonna fill the void until the big AAA titles come out. I think people will play for a month or so, and then when the next big thing comes along, it'll lose its way.
But then, for 25 quid, maybe that's all people want. You get months of play out of it.
Yeah, maybe. So the gunstick is alright. The one thing I'm getting used to is that there's no aim for anything. So because
yeah.
Because you instinctively hit the L2, and it's just another ability. But having said that, it's not too bad aiming. Shooting from a hip, I should say.
But again, I think it's another Overwatch comparison. That's the same. Doesn't have that. So I think immediately with my thinking of this is the same as Overwatch or very similar. I didn't even try to do the aim down sights because I knew it wasn't there. I actually quite like having these some of these FPS games that don't have aim down sights. Halo, generally didn't used to. The new Halo does. But, if a game has got aim down sights, I find myself pretty much always aiming down sights before I'm doing any shooting. I quite like it. I think it zips around. You get into the anti-grav bits. You feel like if you manage to do something that's pretty decent, you feel like an absolute demon.
I've had a couple of good moments, not many, but it's satisfying when you do get. Oh, shit. Damn it! I should have had him. That was. I was just taking on the guy who was spotting the ball. And you shouldn't have.
We were going to have 2 quick games, and we've sort of gone on for ages because this game's been a bit lengthy. That's probably the other thing, actually, for this style of game. How long do the games go on for? Because it's a very, very quick, fast-paced game, and this has been going on for probably 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, that's probably one thing that does put me off, because I hate sounding like a broken record, but there are other games out there that have those really tight 5 to 10 minute matches. So like the first game we played of this, it was done and dusted. This one is just going on and on and on.
It is. They could do with bringing the scores down, so it's 8 to win and it's 6-6. So we will get there. 4 minutes left of the game. You sort of get to this point and you go, oh, okay, there's a lot of, because everything's instant action and it's adrenaline pumping and it's like bang, 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 bang. It's only so long you can go on for that sort of stuff. Where you go, okay, I think I just need a bit of a break now. Although that was quite good. I just saved that.
So I'm just trying out the Juggernaut a little bit. Getting a little bit disoriented. There we go. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Oh, that was silly. So he's got a shield. Okay.
So what have you got now? Like a rocket launcher?
Kind of. I guess it's like a shotgun stroke. I mean, it's called a Juggernaut. I don't really know if I've got any more health on that. I can't really tell the difference. Maybe there. I can't tell if I stick that. Oh, I keep this one right.
Oh, it's hard to tell when people get behind you and start shooting you because it's just so fast. But maybe just you probably could do like a quick look. I guess if you're on a mouse and keyboard, you can quickly spin around and see. I actually don't like playing on a mouse and keyboard for that reason. Even in games where that on console they're a lot slower, when you go onto PC and you flip between them, it makes me just feel a bit. I don't know. I like there to be a sort of a timing turn-in. That makes sense, rather than all of a sudden someone's spinning around and shooting you.
No, I know what you mean. I got killed earlier. You'll see on the feed that I was in a room and couldn't even see where I was being shot from. But yeah, like again, I've just died there because I can't seem to aim. I don't know if it's because it's a sensitivity issue, which you can probably fix in the menu.
Oh, well that's the other thing actually. There is loads and loads of options in the menus for tweaking stuff. Down to things like field of view you can tweak, so you see like a wider spread of what's going on. Yeah, loads and loads of stuff to tweak, which I was surprised to see. I guess they're going for parity with PC. I don't know if there's crossplay. I'm not sure I'd want to play it crossplay. Imagine you'd be at a massive disadvantage by using a controller.
So this is all the main systems, Xbox, PC.
No. It's PlayStation and PC, no Xbox.
Okay.
I'm not sure they would be massively upset by that, but this is going to go down to the wire. I think there's 1 minute left. There have been some quite exciting moments in this actually.
Let's go for a Titan. Just trying to mix it up as much as. Oh god, he's like Slipknot with the rocket launcher.
I'm even better at using them.
Ball dropped.
Oh dear. They're all hanging around the middle now. Oh, okay, I see now. The teams are called Law and Breakers. I missed that at the start. I assumed it would be like Enforcement and Lawbreakers would be the actual name of the gang, but okay, yeah, fine.
Ball dropped.
I mean, it's all a bit cheesy, isn't it? But that's not a bad thing.
yeah.
That's just, I guess, the style they've gone for. Oh dear.
Ball spawning. 5. Ball in play.
Always get in there for when the ball spawns. That's the end of the game anyway. Defeat.
Oh, there it
Well,
is.
that's Lawbreakers anyway. It's not.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not too bad. We've had some fun out of it, I guess. But wait and see what happens with the community. I think that's the key, like you said.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that it is a pass for me, for the time being. But yeah, it's alright, isn't it? It's got its moments.